My name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That's fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Welcome to the Channelmom Show, celebrating you as a mom, coaching you, informing you, letting you know the latest and greatest to help your life. And we have some fabulous stuff for you to hear today. My name is Jenny Dean Schmidt, your host and a mom myself. And we have the equivalent of a hockey team in the studio today. Actually, maybe even more than a hockey team. I do know how many people are in a hockey team, Dan. How are you this morning, Dan?
I'm all right.
All righty. I want you to stay tuned for our topic of discussion today. It is about culture shock and how it is brutally affecting our kids, being threatened by things like cyberbullying, sexting, porn, and the pressure to have sex at a younger and younger ages. Now, this is, when we get into the discussion, it's probably not a G-rated show. You probably don't want to be chatting about this with your 3-year-olds, but just about everybody else, who's a mom is going to want to hear what we have. It's incredible stuff, the information that we have today. And I think you're going to want to stay tuned for that. That's coming up at 8:20, then at 8:10. Before that, we have News Moms Can Use today. And the stories we have are very, very moving. A mother who refused chemotherapy to save the first and only baby she would ever have. Also, how a wife's heartbeat was found inside the body of her husband. And why has the latest, very unique version of Barbie completely sold out? You probably will not guess the answer to this one. Our guest host, who I'm going to introduce in a minute, she'll like this one. But first, we do have this special treat. We have our first Channelmom Show guest mom host today. Now, if you'd like to do this, please call us today at 303-297-1510. Give Dan your name and your number and let him know why you'd like to be on the show. And then we will contact you based on your answers. You can also Facebook us at facebook.com/channelmom and let us know there too, because we are seeking guest mom hosts at this point because we want to honor moms, and so I want to have other moms in the studio here with me. Okay, our guest host today is Mrs. Jolene Sadowski, mother of 3, wife to 1. Now, you know why I picked Jolene? I picked Jolene to be our first mom guest host because girlfriend is not afraid to speak her mind, and that's why we need you here today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So welcome.
Thanks, Jenny.
We're
glad to be here.
Good. Tell us a little bit about your 3 children, just so we know where you're coming from.
3 wonderful children.
Yeah.
My daughter Jordan is 21, and we have 2 great little boys. Casey is 8, and Cameron will be 6 in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And you and Joel, and it's not fair because you and Jordan look almost exactly alike. Do you get the sisters comment all the time?
A lot. Yeah.
Yes, you're very blessed.
Started a little young. And she's my best friend.
Yeah, you started young, but that's why it's good to have you here for this conversation today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm sure God just chose you. All right, your approach to motherhood, how do you view it?
It's a tough job.
It's a tough job.
It's a very tough job.
But if somebody told you could never be one, like you have to live your whole life not being a mommy, what would you?
I would crawl in a ball and die.
Right. Absolutely.
That would be awful.
Absolutely. And I see that in you. You have the big, huge, giant heart of a mama.
I like being a mama.
Yeah, and you're very good at it. Well, thanks for being here with us today. You're going to help us with our interviews, yeah? Okay. Really quick commentary today before I get to the news. I saw Leigh Anne Tuohy. Shell's in the studio with us today.
Good morning. I'm still here.
You're still here. I just have so many mics being handed around that I can barely talk to you, but welcome.
Thank you. It's great.
All righty. I saw Leigh Anne Tuohy a couple days ago. She was the subject of the movie Blindside. She's the one that...
Movie.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, great movie. They are the family that took in a 6'6" black child named Michael Orr, who later became an offensive lineman for the Baltimore Ravens, right? Have you ever watched him play? Dan, are you out there? Have you ever watched him play, Dan?
Who was that?
Michael Orr.
For the Ravens. I've seen him because, I watch every Broncos game, and he's played against him, I think, a couple of times.
Yeah. So most Broncos fans are familiar with who he is.
Any sports fan's going to be familiar with who he is.
He's incredible. And I listened to Leigh Anne's speech, and you know what? There was one thing that she said in her speech. She was very, she had some great stories. She had this wonderful story about she's taught all her kids to be charitable. She just believes that you're supposed to follow those principles. She's a godly woman, and she said, you need to be charitable to people, and they're pretty well off. So she's taught Michael to keep money in his console. Now, this is a big, huge, gigantic, very successful NFL football player, but he keeps money in his console to give to people on the side of the street that are homeless. Now, one of her children said, but Mom, they're just going to buy beer and cigarettes. And she said, I don't care what they buy. We're going to still give them some money. So Michael Orr gets out after one of his games. So he's this big, famous offensive lineman for the Ravens. He gets out of his car and tries to give somebody who's begging on the side of the street a couple bucks. The guy takes off running in a full sprint. And Michael Orr gets back in the car and says to Leigh Anne, who's in the car with him, hey, the guy didn't, I tried. Yeah, he didn't want my money. And Leigh Anne said to him, honey, you're a little frightening. You are a 6'6" black man getting out of your big old car trying to go after somebody, and he didn't know. Very, very funny. The poor guy was just trying to be charitable. Anyway, what I want to say about her speech, the one thing that I want to express about what she said was, everybody in our society can help one person who's been deemed valueless. And Michael Orr had never had a bed, had never had a birthday cake, had never had a birthday present, precious little thing.
He was undereducated.
He was like living on the streets, basically. I mean, he did have a pseudo home, but nobody was taking care of him. And he was deemed valueless. But they recognized that they should reach out and try to help him. And look what happened. And what I love about what she did, it's a great movie, is that she used herself as a mom. She extended herself as a mother. And and think of how it changed his life. Somebody chose to become his mom because he didn't have one who was functioning as a mother, and everything changed. That's what motherhood can do.
Absolutely. They need that. Every child needs that.
I know. So she challenged all of us in the audience, just go help one person who's been deemed valueless in this society. Doesn't matter what they smell like, look like, talk like. You decide today to go help them. Amen, girl. I just loved that message. It was wonderful. Okay, it's time for the news.
If you're tired of the same old news,
What more do you want?
I want the truth.
You're hearing it. Strap yourselves in, folks.
never fear.
What's the dealio?
Part of life is learning to let things go.
We've got news moms can use.
What was that name again? I missed that.
News moms can use.
All right, we've got the latest stories that we pick based on what we think moms want to hear. We're not just like any old news station that gives you all the horrible news at the beginning of the day that doesn't necessarily affect your life at all. These are stories that we believe that moms really would like to hear. Okay, I'm going to start right out. This one may move everybody out there to tears. It's an amazing story. And if I can't get through it, Jolene, I'm going to hand you
I didn't bring my Kleenex.
Okay. I'm going to hand you the script if I can't get through it. Be sure and pipe in if you want to. It's the story of a mom who I do not think I will ever forget because she personifies the sacrificial love of a mom for her child. When Stacy Krim found out that she had finally gotten pregnant at age 41, she was said to be overjoyed. Her joy was soon interrupted by the most difficult choice a mother could ever make. Not long after hearing that she was pregnant, Stacy discovered that she had advanced cancer in her neck. This mom's joy over the new life that she held within her body outweighed her desire to live. So Stacy knew exactly what to do when presented with the choice of whether to save her life or her unborn babies. After she was diagnosed with cancer, Krim decided to refuse chemotherapy. Now, she was a single mom. She decided to refuse chemotherapy. This heroic mom survived long enough to deliver her 2-pound, 1-ounce daughter, Dottie Mae. Don't you love that name? And then hold her baby close just one precious time. In fact, Stacy was not allowed to hold her baby at first, as Dottie was kept in a separate building from her dying mother. But some compassionate nurses got together to honor the love this mother had for her baby girl. This is the part where I want to cry. This baby was everything that she had in this world, Crimson's brother, Ray Phillips, told the Oklahoma news outlet that did this story. And so Stacy was able to smile at the best thing that she had in this world when nurses laid baby Dottie on Mom Stacy's chest, not long before the brave mom passed away. I am so blessed to know that this daughter was able to lay near the heart of her mother, the very same heart that had chosen her baby's life over her own. And precious little Dottie now lives with Ray Phillips, Stacy's brother, and they are raising her along with their 4 other children. Isn't that, moms.
Oh my gosh.
Only moms would do that,
No, right?
you know? Okay, I had to pick something lighter after that story. So I chose this breaking news item, Jolene. You're going to love it. Barbie now has tats. What do you think of that?
I'm not a fan of tattoos on women.
No, I'm not either. But most of your Harley friends have them, right?
This is true.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, Barbie has them now, too. Of course, She's gone through many careers and image changes, including astronaut, doctor, teacher, and the always popular princess. Been a princess a million times, but a fan of ink? Apparently so. It's called Tokidoki's new Barbie. I guess it's a Japanese company. Appears to be a big fan of ink because she now has tattoos, Miss Barbie. The inked doll, who also comes with a black Skull and Bones t-shirt, leopard leggings, and pale pink bob, is the result of Barbie's collaboration with Simone Legno of the Japanese-inspired lifestyle brand Tokidoki. The doll, retailing for $50, is now sold out. You wanted to know how much it was, didn't you?
I wanted to know how much.
Okay. She's got
Not that I want her.
Yeah. Well, she's gone because she's got tattoos and she's very popular.
Sold out.
Yeah, apparently. So apparently it goes over well in the Barbie world, even if we don't like it here. Because I'm not a big fan of tats on women either.
Well, I don't like pain. I don't know why anyone would want to self-inflict it, but
Yeah.
You know how many tats she has? Like, how is she?
It's all up her neck. It's on her arm. Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
all over the
inked,
place.
totally.
Yeah, she's inked. All right, last story. Finally, if you do not believe in a love that lasts anymore, wait until you hear this beautiful tale. There's another one for you to cry, Jolene. Of wedding vows that truly lasted until death do us part. I know your mom passed away and your parents lasted. How many years?
they would have celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary end of September.
Oh, precious girl. I'm sorry to bring that. Okay, she's crying now, people. I'm sorry. That's beautiful,
No,
though.
it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Unheard of.
Gordon and Norma Yeager of Des Moines, Iowa, were married for 72 years before they died last week due to a car accident. Both husband and wife were in their 90s. Right after the accident, the married couple ended up in the hospital, where it was reported that as their conditions worsened, they were moved into a room together to rest side by side so they could hold hands. Gordon passed away at 3:38 p.m., surrounded by family and still holding hands with Norma. Now, what was reported next is an amazing testimony to what love does. This is what the family said they saw. Although Gordon had stopped breathing and passed away, the heart monitor showed that his heart was still beating. When the family questioned this, a nurse explained that because Gordon and Norma were still holding hands and Norma's heart was still beating, this wife's heart was literally beating through her husband and being picked up by the monitor. Norma died an hour later, still holding hands with the love of her life. One family member said that neither of them would have wanted to live on without each other. And while the family couldn't figure out how that was going to work, they said they were very, very blessed that the couple went this
1 minute
together. They recall Gordon saying how he wished he wouldn't leave this world without his wife, declaring something like, "I have to stick around. I can't go until she does because I have to stay here for her." And she would do the very same thing. And that is what they did. God bless the Yeagers. Bless their little hearts. 72 years.
What a great story.
Oh, so beautiful.
They need to make a movie.
Yeah.
For real.
I know. I wonder what the rest of their life's like. All right, coming up, we have something incredible. Do you want your kids viewing internet porn or being cyberbullied or perhaps getting pregnant when they're 15 years old? My guess is no. So we're going to talk about how the culture is encroaching on your kids. It's all about a survival guide for teens. Please join us when we come back.
Mount Calvary.